Hey everybody, it's Seti the Wind Sage, and welcome back to Let's Play A Kiss for the Petals, Maidens of Michael. In the last episode, we got introduced, or more well, reintroduced into Risa and Mia, in technically the game they debuted in, but it's complicated stuff. And we kind of got our little adventure started, and in this episode, we're going to be learning about who are currently seen as the best couples of St. Michael's. So, let's dive right in. We kind of started this last time, but at the same time, then a bunch of awkward stuff happened. I realized we would have been here forever if we just focused on it. So, yeah, let's just dive right in.
美人で成績も優秀で、まさに理想のお姉様ですわ。そんな誰もが憧れるお姉様とお付き合いなされてるのは小田七海さん。私たちと同級生ながらも環境整備委員会のメンバーに選ばれていらっしゃるの。きっとすごく優秀なお方なのね。
Yeah, sure. Remarkable individual. Okay, no hate on Nanami. No hate on Nanami. I like Nanami, but the thing is, it's very funny how they like mention how it's like a very big impressive thing that she joined the campus improvement committee when we learned in the Kiss for the Petals 1 that Yuna actually rigged it. So it's a little I guess ironic or kind of funny. But yeah, but don't get me wrong, I like Nanami. I feel she's the better half of this relationship, but yeah. Anyway.
そうなの。環境整備委員会って確か学業成績、生活態度、その他諸々の審査に通って初めてメンバーに選ばれるっていう。
Yeah, which you know, it does kind of like raise like a red, it does kind of raise like a question mark or two. Essentially when well, yeah, that she's just kind of first year in it, and she just happened to get into it rather quickly. But you know, that can just be a coincidence. Who knows, really? Well, I mean, we know it's rigged, but still.
ちなみにユーナ様はその委員長を務めていらっしゃるのよ。楓様、サラさんのカップルも有名ですわ。この二人はいとこ同士でいらっしゃるの。
Yep. So yeah, this is Sarah and Kaede again. This is another this is one of the couples that I did end up reading the second story for, one of two actually. And well, again, the reason I don't have any recordings for My Dear Prince or the sequel games, it's all very complicated, but yeah, I am very familiar with this couple. And before anyone asks for my statement, kind of on the controversy about the fact that these two are cousins, well, just I plan to talk about that at a kind of later point because yeah. But I do have thoughts and opinions on the fact that they're cousins sort of deal, but I'm just going to leave that for a different time because I know there's multiple routes in this game, one route for each couple. So I'll probably just talk about that during the Sarah and Kaede route of this game. So it is something that I will talk about for those who are curious, but I'll talk about it later.
学業の傍ら学生モデルもなさっているのよ。皆さんご存知ね。もちろんよ。私なんて今月号買ってしまいましたわ。北島楓様は人気モデルであるサラさんと並んでも引けを取らないくらい素敵な方ですわ。以前 一度だけメガネを外し三つ編みを解いて投稿された時は誰もが見惚れたらしいです。
I mean, it is a really nice detail that they actually referenced that this happened because, like, well, like, because it actually is a really nice, it is a really nice touch that they have to kind of reference it because that was actually kind of, it was actually, kind of a big deal in the story with these two of Kaede, like how she, like, you know, like, undid the braid and had her glasses on. It's not like the biggest deal, but it was more of kind of a like a character thing for it was kind of a bit of a character thing for Kaede because like well I'll just talk about all that during their route, but yeah, I really do like how they reference it because it is kind of a big deal even in the stories these guys are in.
私も噂で聞きました。一度拝見してみたいものですわ。2年生の舞様&レオ様のカップルも大本命ですわ。沢口舞様はユーナ様、楓様と並んでお姉様にしたい先輩です。
And here we are, yep, my Reo. Honestly, yeah, as many of you probably know who watch the series, this is my favorite couple. Just because, well, the couple's amazing, and by the way, if you're curious, yes, this is the other couple where I read the second book for it, but I never did record it. Pretty much everything that was amazing about the couple in the first book is just more amazing there, but I'll have my time for fan gushing when I get to their route. So, yeah.
面倒見のいい本当に親しみやすいお姉様って感じですわね。一方の川村レオ様は先輩ですけれどすごく愛らしくていらっしゃるわ。でもああ見えて少々凶暴化することがあるとか。
Yeah, pretty much. I guess yeah, that is actually a very good description of Reo, to be honest, because pretty much, yep, she's the tried and true tsundere. And I say tried and true because she shows both sides of that very well. She could be very dare, and she can be very soon. So yeah.
そんなレオ様の面倒を見れるのはマイ様だけなのよね。なるほど。まるでマイ様は猛獣使いみたいなものなのね。そして外せないのは最上級生カップルのエリス様と雫様。シトギエリス様はプラチナブロンドが美しい留学生でワンクラブが作られるほどの人気のある方なの。
Wait, she spawned her own fan club? I mean, I know she was kind of, I had a feeling she was kind of popular due to the fact that they called her like Lily Platinum or something like that. But I think that's what they refer to Eris as. But yeah, again, this will also be a very interesting couple for me because this is brand new territory for me. One of the two couples that is this case. And in fact, where I know a little bit about the other couple, I'm not like, again, there's two couples I'm not really well familiar with. This is one of them. And while again, I don't know a lot about that other couple, I do know a little more than this. I do know a little more than these couples, so this is a very interesting one for me. Because again, I know nothing about it. I'll be getting all my exposure and first impressions of these characters right here, and instead of their debut. Which, yeah. Anyway, so Eris is the blonde one, because yeah, I know the names Eris and Shizuku, but I didn't know which one was which. 実は私、そのファ
クラブリリプラチナムに入っていますのよ。以前ご一緒にティータイムを楽しんだことがありましたけれど、あれはまるで夢のようなひとときでしたわ。
Oh, so Lily Platinum was that's the name of her fan club. Or I mean more like a nickname that they just call the fan club as. Whatever.
霧島雫様は雫御前とも呼ばれていて、成績優秀で美化女一の優質ですの。さらに先生方からの信頼もとても厚く、完璧なお姉様ですわ。
Ah, so she's kind of the honor student class rep type of this group. Makes sense. Well, makes sense to me. And yeah, you know, honestly, I'm looking at Shizuku's design, and I don't know, something about it. It looks like one of the other girls just with black hair, honestly. Like Nanami, maybe? I don't know, but it is kind of interesting still. Anyway.
プラチナブロンドのエリス様と和風な雫様が並ぶと本当に絵になりますよね。今話題のベストカップル、皆さん素敵ですわよね。リサさん、いかがですか？どうと言われても。
And here Risa is just kind of doesn't really. This is something where Risa is definitely out of her element. Because romance, at least at this point, is not really something she's too attuned with. Anyway.
リサさんはどのカップルが一番だと思いますか？なんと言いますか、皆様甲乙つけがたいというか。そうですわよね。本当に皆様素敵なカップルばかりで迷ってしまいますわね。そうですね。ベストカップルか。
Oh, hey, look, it's a new uniform, or like an overcoat to the old one. That's interesting. I didn't actually. I think I've seen images or like screenshots of something like this, but I actually couldn't quite remember. So this is actually pretty interesting. Though I do wonder, is this just like a new uniform, just like a kind of trench coat thing over the old one? Well, I guess it doesn't matter quite too much. I'm gonna take a wild guess that this is foreshadowing. Oh, hey, it's Nanami. Yeah, they're all wearing the new. I'm going to assume this is just like a uniform, like a winter uniform, probably. Yeah, because it does look a lot more like a coat, but like. Yeah, it's Nanami and Yuna.
ごきげんよう、ななみさん。ごきげんよう、リサさん。
Oh, so they do know each other. Like they are pre-established. So they do seem to be like, because I know Risa said she's like casually familiar with Nanami. Was like, so they do like know each other. Like, because I didn't know what casually familiar meant. I didn't know if she just meant like that she knew who Nanami was. But no, they both seem to like know each other. Actually, wow, when you put their designs side by side, it kind of their hairstyles are actually really similar, huh? Well, I guess Nanami's thing's more twin tails, and Risa's more just the bows are more just to be bows, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not at like the forefront of character design, so you can't. So, not like the forefront of character design, so I'm not like can't give the most in-depth opinions about that.
Yuna 様、こちらいつも委員会でご一緒している安住リサさんです。
ごきげんようリサさん。いつもななみさんがお世話になっております。
ごきげんよう。
I found myself captivated by it. This happens a lot with you, Risa, doesn't it? Actually. Well, I guess with Mia, it was more remembering how we met was just like it was like outright infatuation. It was like this happens to you quite a. Is this just gonna be a trend, or is this just going to the? Is this trying to put like a little bit of on Yuna's character, how she catches people's attention very easily, because she is like idolized for a reason. Again, I don't like her too much because of experiences with the first book, but like that being said, I am willing to give the character in this couple a fair shot. Just because I wasn't the biggest fan of them the first time around doesn't mean I won't enjoy the progression here, and plus I never read their second book, so I don't know if their couple even improved from that. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of be fair and like see where this couple goes. I'm kind of interested in their route, so yeah. Oh, is this like after school? For some reason I thought this was like during school, or like the beginning of a new day. Oh well. Actually, that by itself, how she said like Oni, like she was gonna say Oni-sama cuts herself off. That is actually another interesting detail, because, well, it shows that they never quite dropped the nickname, though. Again, it hasn't been too long since their own stories, so I don't imagine they would have, but yeah. I mean, creditors do. I did always like the little nicknames for these two, because it did. Well, at least Nanami for Yuna, because Yuna just calls Nanami, but like you're dropping the honorific. But I don't know. That was something I did kind of like with. That is something I did kind of like with this couple. But like there was like, it gave it a little bit of distinction, because I don't think any other couple just uses nicknames. I think they just drop the honorifics, which is still a big deal, at least for like in Japanese culture, at least. So yeah. And Risa has no idea what to say. I can hear them quite clearly, actually. Yuna, maybe you worry too little. Anyway.
なんだ、2人になると話し方も随分フレンドリーになるのね。でもなんだかいい感じよね。エロ乙女とかなんとか聞こえたような。イチゴの品種だったかしら。
Something about a dirt eagle? That's a species of bird. Oh. I mean, I'm going to assume that it's that Nanami might have just like, I mean, not Nanami, no, definitely not Nanami. Yuna might have just had like a just made a comment that Nanami found like thought was like dirty, and she was saying something like that. But dirty? I don't know what that could be, or what that could have been like, or how that could have been like. Like, it's probably not what she actually said, but I can't think of what she actually said that sounds like that would sound like Dirt Eagle. Maybe Dirty Girl? I'm thinking about this too much. Well, I mean, I can't believe that. There's literally that one chapter in the first, there's literally that one, like, chapter or like, segment name in the first, the first Kiss for the Petals that's literally called Onisama Dirty Girl, so... I don't know, I can kind of imagine Nanami saying it. Anyway, couples, pretty much. I wonder if I would ever find anyone to be like that with. Oh, you know, Risa, I have a good... I have a good feeling that you can have good chances of finding love, you know, just a hunch. Yeah, of course the talk of couples immediately reminds you of Mia. But the denial is still very real. Oh, hey, anime fag! I think this is actually the first time for this. Not for this channel, for this, or even this series, just for this Let's Play. And I sense there'll be many more, even just because the fact that Reo is a character in this game.
きっとミヤが一番綺麗なせいよね。で、あくまで見た目だけよ、見た目。
Oh dear God, the denial is real here. But I imagine it's just gonna get even more real because, but man, like I get it. Like this all logically makes sense. You just like you know, getting your feelings kind of sensed, and you don't want to just immediately jump into thinking you're in love with someone. But knowing how this is going to end, the denial is just gonna be kind of painful to watch. It's like, let's hope that pain train doesn't last for too long. Though I am really looking forward to the inevitable hookup. So let's just, yeah, I'm very curious to see how that's gonna go. It's not exactly the most academically challenging. Well, that's a good point. This is more of a again, this is more of a school of this does seem more like a school of learning good like learning or teaching good character, not just academics. So, yeah, I can't get why maybe Risa would be confused by this, because Mia doesn't really seem to care about the school itself, and she's smarter than all the classes, so, yeah. And it is interesting considering what we as the player might know from remembering how we met, which I won't, nothing's ever set in stone, but there are more implications there, which I won't necessarily spoil just in case you haven't played Remembering How We Met yet, but yeah. they do expand on that a little more. Again, no concrete answer, but you know, some implications. Well, I guess there is kind of a concrete answer in there, but yeah.
今更ながら不思議だわ。どうしてミヤのことばかり考えてしまうのよ、今日の私。
You know, back to what Risa was just saying a minute ago, like, you know, Risa, the more you think about, like, and this is just a really, like, thing that bothers me personally, the more you try to forget something, like, you try to put effort into forgetting it, the more you're thinking about it, which is even worse, so it's like, it's gonna be interesting for Risa, considering that memory makes her incredibly flustered. Anyway. Oh god, the being late feeling is kind of real. Doesn't happen to me often, where I'm necessarily like inherently late, and most of the times these days where I'm late is more of a something happened on the road. Something happened on the road that I couldn't figure out. Cause yeah, I do drive to school these days. So yeah, but I do get those feelings of like, oh god, you overslept, or you took too long doing something, or yeah, and just the feeling is real. Not that this bad though, just like having to outright skip breakfast, jeez. Huh? For a second I thought that was Risa, but no, it's like question marks, huh? You know what? Something about this makes something about this just makes a lot of sense, actually. Especially since I think, like, Kiss for the Petals, remembering it, like, no, not remembering how we met, Joined in Love with You starts with something similar, except that was more of a chase sequence. Who knows what's going on here, but... Geez, the fact that they make, like loud screaming, like, all text and, like, huge font, like, man, Maiken screams. And there's Reo. Though I do wonder what's going on here. Reo, is this just the thing? Cause I'm suddenly kind of like, you know, memories like, you gotta remember, she ran into Kaine in a very similar fashion. Joined in Love with You. That's the thing that I said. The other thing I kind of wanted to comment on. I like the little like picture thing that they did right there. I think that's supposed to like signify some sort of like distance, or like how she was kind of like far away like at that moment, and yeah, but yeah, it is very interesting. So yeah, I think I also heard I don't know. I'll talk about that later if and like when and if it becomes relevant. Because I think I heard that I think I heard something about the images, but I can't quite remember right now. It has to do with like it had to do with like this development article I saw. Like they have like a secondary purpose, I believe. Anyway.
レオったら人様に迷惑をかけて。あなた大丈夫？はい、私は平気です。
It is very interesting seeing all these characters in the new school uniform though. Like I do honestly like it. And on like I guess something else I never really commented on in the beginning of this episode. I also like how they I also do like a lot of these characters' designs in the new art style, because you can tell that this is a very different art style from previous Kiss for the Petals games I played on this channel. And I don't quite know when the design made a transition at what game that starts with, but I do like the new design for a lot of these characters. It was a bit jarring when I saw it at first, because it is a little bit jarring kind of seeing it now, because I'm not quite used to it yet. But yeah, I still like it. I do kind of question why they're using the picture now, because I'm pretty sure the picture is supposed to represent like distance or something. Like maybe it's because she's like still on the ground, but I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure these images are supposed to represent like distance, or like that like a character, like one character is like a kind of like a, they're not like right next, like standing near or next to each other, like a certain distance away. But yeah. Well, maybe the picture is more like used in the case where that's not happening, like how Reo just kind of like still falling on the ground at this point. So yeah.
誰がなんだって？なんでもない。ほら、手捕まって。ああ、もう制服汚れちゃったじゃない。新しいの買うからいい。おバカ。
Seriously though, jeez. Just like uniforms can be cleaned, you know. Reo was always an interesting sort of character, though.
舞のせいなんだから。舞が朝から私の知らない人とずっと話してるから。だからあれは委員会のことで話してたんだって。それくらいで人を威嚇しないの。
And Reo still has her still has a bit of her jealousy issues, I guess. Not that ever really went away. Like I'll tell you this, for like me reading the second book, it never got. It's always been a small part of their character. It's always been a small part of her character. But if you're curious if it ever goes away, or if you haven't read the other book, no, it doesn't. It's always there's always at least something that happens. But yeah, you know that moment something ridiculous happens, you just completely forget what you were doing. Yeah, I also understand that very well. Please forgive me this wet Saint Michael. It's very funny because I think that's the like first time I've ever seen anyone actually ever refer to the I think this is the first time I've ever seen anyone refer to like the Saint Michael, like the character itself, and now she's back to her regular uniform. Okay, I'm going to assume then that thing we saw in the earlier scenes while they were outside is probably like an overcoat or something like that, like something they wear, because I imagine the weather's probably colder, because these are like, I imagine these are like autumn winter uniforms. So yeah. And Mia skipped class again. In other news, the sky is blue. And of course, just to bring back an old attempt at a meme, Power Walk has indeed been activated. Okay, for those of you who don't get it, who don't see the first playthrough, this was just a thing they kept bringing up. They kept bringing up in remembering how we met. How, like, again, I walked as fast as my legs could carry me, since as a student of St. Michael's, I would never run in the halls, except for the fact that she probably did on her way to class. But anyway, it's kind of the fact that kind of trying to keep with like the refined or like dignified image. They always mention that students will never run, but they will walk as fast as they can. So I just call that activating Power Walk. This morning notwithstanding. Okay, so yeah. I think, like, you know, look at the. I don't know if she had this in remembering how we met, but this is a really just like. Risa's actually pretty pissed with this expression. Anyway. And looking at the time, I think we're gonna end the part off here. Actually, you know, leave it in not really much of a cliffhanger, but anyway. So yeah, I guess we'll keep going on. I guess we'll keep going on. Yeah, I guess we'll keep going on next time. So this is gonna be really redundant now with my outro. Next time on Kiss for the Petals, Maidens of Michael, we will. Well, I guess we'll be following Risa to see if she can go find Mia. Anyway, that's a load. That was almost a very bad idea. Why can't I leave her alone? Anyway, see you guys then.